Once upon a time, there was a sailor named Sindbad from Baghdad. He had 7 exciting voyages in his life, full of strange encounters and adventures. As he grew older, he loved sharing his tales with others, and people enjoyed listening to his stories. This is the story of his second voyage. After returning from his first journey, Sindbad lived comfortably in the city for some years. However, he began to feel restless and longed for new adventures. One morning, he packed his belongings and traveled to the port of Basra, where he found a sturdy ship ready to set sail. Sindbad joined the ship's voyage, which took him from port to port, and he soon began trading goods with other passengers. Despite the pleasant weeks and months at sea, Sindbad craved excitement. Eventually, the ship's journey led them to a beautiful and unfamiliar island, filled with delicious fruit, colorful flowers, and fresh water streams. Although it seemed like paradise, there were no people on the island. While the other passengers explored the island, Sindbad took a break, enjoyed the local fruits and water, and fell asleep. When he awoke, he found himself alone on the island, with his ship visible on the horizon. Fear gripped him, and he wondered about his next steps. Sindbad explored the island, climbed a tall tree for a better view, and noticed a massive white object in the distance. He suspected it was a rock and realized it might be the egg of an enormous bird known as a roc. According to a traveler's story, these birds used rocks to catch prey, particularly elephants. Sindbad quickly devised a plan. He tied his turban to the roc's foot while it slept, hoping it would take him to a land with cities and people. After an overnight journey, they landed on a mountainside, and Sindbad freed himself as the roc carried off a large snake. The valley below turned out to be a dangerous place filled with sleeping snakes, and Sindbad needed to find a safe place to sleep for the night. He eventually located a cave and set a large rock in its entrance to keep the snakes out. As night fell, the snakes outside awakened, creating a terrifying racket. The snake inside the cave, guarding her eggs, stared at Sindbad. Frightened, he ran from the cave but later returned and closed the entrance to protect himself from the snakes outside. The next day, the meat fell from the sky, and Sindbad realized he was in the Valley of Diamonds. He understood how diamond merchants extracted the precious stones, so he decided to escape by tying himself to a piece of meat, which an eagle carried to the mountains. Sindbad was eventually rescued by diamond merchants who heard his story and welcomed him into their group. He continued to travel with the merchants, visiting various countries and experiencing more adventures. Sindbad's journey eventually led him back to Baghdad, where he shared his newfound wealth with his family and the city's poor. Yet, after a few years, his longing for adventure resurfaced, and he yearned to sail the seas once more.